Hey, what is up? And thanks for coming back to another edition of the Horror Debate. I am Jeff Rowdy Jake here. He is Michael Mandy. And guess what, folks? We're live.
And we are going to be debating the merits of The Last Exorcism from 2010, directed by Daniel Stamm and produced by Eli Roth. You know, has Eli Roth directed anything since Hostel 2?
No.
So basically, Eli Roth did Cabin Fever,
I think.
Hostel 1, and Hostel 2.
Well, yeah.
And
he was attached to something else that I watched not too long ago, too, and I don't recall what it was.
But was it just a producer?
I'm not positive. I know I saw his name come up on it, but...
As we know, producer just basically means, here, use my checkbook.
Use my money.
Yeah.
Yes.
And make sure when it makes money, I'm the first one that gets paid.
Well, Mike, this movie came up this last year, and I loved the trailer. I thought the trailer had the creepiness factor down pat.
Treble?
Did I say the treble?
Yeah, you did.
And the bass.
Treble.
And the bass. The trailer.
I tell you, this movie had a lot of woofers in it, because it was a talk.
The trailer had the creepiness factor down pat. The problem arises when the story goes wiki-wacky, for lack of a better term.
Again, in terms of lazy filmmaking, we don't know what to do, so throw everything in and then hit the off button.
But let me say this. The lady, the young girl, was a tremendous physical actress.
Ashley Bell.
Tremendous physical actress. She had the moves down. She was actually a contortionist that they hired to do this film.
Cool.
Unbelievable, man. Her eye, she didn't even have to bend any which way. She didn't need to be a contortionist. Her eye and facial features that she did in this film worked. She was awesome.
Uh-huh.
And I thought the brother even did a sufficient job in just kind of being off. You know what I mean? The father was effective. I've seen him in other things. The father of the
Louis Hertham.
Yeah, sure. Good for you. But, yes, I've seen him in other things. I think on TV, mostly, I've seen him, actually. But I got to say, as far as acting goes, this was not a bad film whatsoever. The plot is basically around this preacher who has lost his faith. And he's in a small town in Louisiana somewhere.
Uh-huh.
And he's just kind of lost his faith, and he's going to go out and make money, turn this into a profitable business.
Well, what he's doing is
by doing phony exorcisms.
This is presented in a shaky cam documentary, because the whole thing is he wants to make this documentary to show how exorcisms are faked.
Right.
And
so he brings the camera crew with him, and he picks a piece of mail because he gets written all the time being a preacher. You know, he gets written all the time by
really
people who think that they
tricks.
need an exorcism.
Yeah, he does good card tricks.
And they send him their description of what they need. You know, oh, my livestock's dying, or oh, this and that, and you know, and he figures it's all going to be a sham. So he's going to go out
with
and
his camera crew,
and he's going to make them feel mentally better by going through a phony exorcism.
Right. And so he shows the camera, you know, this is how all these tricks are done.
Yeah. He's got a cross that takes double A's, dude, okay?
Yeah.
So it'll smoke.
And it smokes. That's actually kind of cool.
You got to love that, right?
I want one of those for my office.
So I was into this movie pretty much, you know, until about the end.
And
then it went, I mean, literally to hell. I mean, yeah, I don't know what...
Should we spoil this movie?
I don't want to spoil it.
Well, the thing was, as we were walking to record this, we're saying, okay, so now this happened, and then that happened, and then this happened.
Yeah.
And you just
I was incredulous.
You just looked at me and said, you know how retarded that sounds when you say it that way? And it's true. This movie is retarded if you say it describe what happened.
If you say what actually went down at the end of the film, we both looked at each other like, what I saw? Is that what I saw? Yeah. Is that what was in this movie?
Is that what just happened that I saw? Yeah, that's what happened. Now, okay. When I was back in high school, and a friend of mine told me that this great new movie came out. It's called The Evil Dead, and we have to go see it because I still remember it to this day. He says, dude, you have to see this movie. A chick gets raped by a tree. Right there, I'm 16 years old. I said, you got my $5. I
Yeah,
gotta see
yeah,
this in a horror movie.
Yeah.
You know? Okay. But so as we're walking down, okay, did I just see this and this and this? Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And that's retarded. Can you imagine? Okay, most movies are made by a pitch meeting where someone
somebody sat down and actually drew this up.
someone sits down and says to the person with money,
Yeah.
you need to give me $2 million because I have a movie. What's your movie about? It's about this happens, and then this happens, and then the tree comes and does this
Yeah.
and that, and then it turns into a fire monster. And it's like, and then this guy has to do this for, I don't know, because it looks
Okay,
cool.
don't spoil it. Don't spoil
That's
it.
what I said. But
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, Mike. I mean, this movie had a lot going for it. You had the good performances by the actors and actresses. You had a decent story all the way up until the end.
But of course,
they could have wrapped this up so much better in so many different ways.
But the thing is, this whole movie could have easily been edited into 25 minutes.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
It
wasn't a long movie the way it was.
No, it's like,
80 minutes or something.
Right, 80 minutes and 60 minutes of it is filler.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing happens for the first 50 minutes.
Well, there's a little bit of character development that happens, but not much.
No, I mean, everybody is a character.
Yeah.
I'm here to do this. I'm here to do this. The cameraman is there to say, maybe we shouldn't do this. That's his only motive.
I'm surprised you haven't
Motivation.
complained, unless I missed it. I'm surprised you haven't complained about the shaky camera.
Oh, I was getting there.
Yeah,
I did say shaky camera.
Yeah, I
movie at
mean,
the beginning.
every movie that has like that perspective with the hand cam.
Well, and the whole thing is, I was going to say, the reason why people put the shaky camera in there is to pad the time of something. So the characters, you don't have to show it. Characters just tell you.
Yeah.
Whereas we're watching a movie. Show us. Don't tell me, hi, I'm a documentary filmmaker.
Yeah.
I do this and this and this. You know, that's lazy writing.
Yeah.
Shaky camera people is people too lazy to set up a tripod. You know, or
No, I
shaky
disagree.
Shaky camera is also so we can have a chase scene with no chase in it.
As usual-
just move the camera and then drop
As
it.
usual, I disagree with you on the concept of the shaky camera. I think the shaky camera can be effective and it can be used for good purposes. It's just that most people choose not to do it that way.
They choose to use what I said. We don't need a chase scene to have music, to height and camera angles and different things to make the
Now-
chase interesting. Just grab the camera, shake it left and right, and then drop it, which means, oh, the
Now,
the
in
guy
this
died.
movie, they could have used, and they did use it effectively for certain things, but, like the outdoor scenes where there's, the lighting and the shadowing is all set up very, very nicely, by the way.
But you could have done that with a normal movie.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that when you're disoriented and there's a little bit of like shakiness going on, you're walking out into this like forest area, and all the viewers are all expecting something to pop up, expecting this chick to pop up and gork out and twist herself up and roll her eyes at the camera, but you're not sure when it's going to happen. That's kind of when the shaky camera to me becomes a little bit effective. They didn't do that though. They kind of went out there and kind of, focused on something else. And, I'm like, come on, that was a perfect opportunity for a jump that would have worked.
Okay, but what I'm getting at is, the Blair Witch Project had to be told by shaky camera because that was the whole concept of the movie.
Exactly.
This is found footage.
Exactly. But you complained about that one, too.
No, I didn't.
You complained about the shaky camera. You said another shaky camera movie.
The Wreck and Diary of the Dead.
Yeah.
And all the other shaky
Diarrhea of the Dead.
Yeah. Listen to all those reviews.
Yes.
Listen to the review again of Blair Witch. I say nothing but great things about it. But here, this movie could have been told normal without the shaky cam. Why did you film it with the shaky cam? Oh, because it was cheaper and easier that way.
But in the story, they're showing it to you.
Same reason.
Wait a minute. They're showing it to you from the perspective of what he's filming for the documentary. Okay, so that's why it's on a shaky camera. That's on a hand cam because that's the way they're filming the documentary. So I don't fault them for that. What I fault them for is it's going into unbelievable territories now. The movie was fine all the way up. I didn't mind the shaky camera. I thought the storytelling was okay, albeit a bit slow. But at the end, they totally blew any credibility they had throughout the entire movie. That's the problem that I have. I thought the setup was fine. The physical acting was great.
Yeah, the physical acting was great.
I mean, there was a lot going for this movie. When I saw the trailer, you know me, Mike, and the word that comes up all the time in every debate is I want realism. I want something to make me feel like that could happen. or that I'm watching something that actually did happen. You know what I mean? Now, the problem with that, this movie took that concept, had it all nice and laid out on a nice sheet of paper, and then at the end, crumbled that mother up and threw it in the trash. Okay?
And light it on fire.
And landed on fire.
And it comes to 50 feet high.
And that angers me because you had 78 minutes of decent stuff. And I was smiling. I was digging this.
He was too.
Yeah. And then
you were laughing at all the little effects he was setting up.
I love that. But
or some of the comments. Really?
But then you just blew it up. And it just angers me, dude. I mean, to me, they had it almost right. They had it 95% right and 5% garbage. And that 5% garbage messes up everything they did previously. You know, I mean, I'm sorry. It's just you got to have that hook into realism, or it's just not going to work for me.
Yeah, no, 1 star for me. I'm glad it's over.
You know what? I'm there with you. 1 star.
Wow.
It angered me the way it ended. You know what? I will say this though, and I said it before. I'm gonna say it again. I think I'm actually going to give it 2. 1 star for the general movie, but just the physical acting in this movie was so good, and the contortionist was so good, and her facial features, going from a very natural-looking country girl into this possessed mode where her eyes are tweaking and she's kind of, you know, it's hard to describe in words, but I mean, you know, you got to see it. She is brilliant at what she did. So I'm actually going to give this 2 stars.
So basically, everyone, just watch the trailer.
Watch the trailer. You get, well, what do you think? You get probably 80% in the trailer, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Of all the scary stuff anyway.
Yeah.
That's a shame. It's just a shame. But anyway.
All right, I'm Michael Manny. He's Rowdy. Jeff. Oh, that's another thing. On these shaky cameras, okay, like Blair Witch, it was supposed to be found footage, right?
Right.
So all this documentary filming, this shaky cam thing, is this all supposed to be found footage that someone edited together and added music and then...
No, not in this movie.
Yeah, in this movie there was music. Whenever
Yeah.
anything scary happened, it bong!
Well, yeah, no. Yeah, you're right. But that's just for effect for the viewer. For this particular movie, this was made to be just like they were doing a documentary, and this is the stuff that they filmed during the documentary. I don't know if it was found. I don't know about the music. The music to me, I think
you see what I'm getting at is
Blair
Witch. It worked because
there was no music.
Right.
Yeah.
This is real video footage.
Yeah,
Well,
no. I
real,
understand.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
That's why all these shaky camera movies that are coming out, they're not real found footage.
Right.
These
No,
are-
I see what you're saying, and you're right. This did have some audio effects that post-processing and
same thing with Paranormal
Yeah.
Activity.
Yeah.
You're not scared until they tell you, here's the scary part.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole other story, and I disagree with you on that too. But this particular movie, I mean, it got ruined, and it's a shame because it had almost everything right, and then just killed it. And I mean, you know, when movies at the end, sometimes you're just like, oh man, I wish they didn't go there. I was pissed at the end of this movie.
I hate movies that have no ending.
It had an ending, but it was terrible.
Right.
You know, it was terrible. And then the credits started to roll, and I just sat there. I just sat there in disbelief of what I just saw.
Right.
You know, it's just like, what? You set all of that up for that? You know, I mean, I was. Oh my God, I can't even tell you.
All right.
I can't even tell you.
All right. I'm Michael Manny. He's Rowdy. Jeff, we'll talk to you next week at the Horror Debate.
What a buzzkill.